Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We're back on some Scentsy shit today with a training from one of our very favorite Scentsy leaders about how sharing your story, quote unquote, is going to help connect you with people to join your team. Yeah, We're gonna get right into it, but first, we need this disclaimer. Okay, now that that is out of the way, if you're not familiar with Scentsy, let me give you a quick rundown. I do have a full deep dive on Scentsy that you can find linked in the description below, but they are an MLM, multi-level marketing company, network marketing company. Some would call them a pyramid scheme.
Allegedly.
And the products that they are known for are scented products. Mainly they're wickless wax warmers, which are the warmers that you plug into the wall that have a light bulb, and you can put wax in the dish at the top where it melts it and smells your house up, or wherever you're plugging it in. Anyway, now that we have the background on Scentsy, let's get the fuck into it, shall we?
I'm going to be bringing some people on that are going to be sharing stories. So welcome to our launch for Build. I am walking on my treadmill, so if I fall off, it's okay. I just want y'all to know there is a possibility.
Brian, help!
We do have some amazing consultants tonight, and I don't want to dim their time, because my hope is through this series of Build, which is going to be 4 weeks. So I really hope that you guys stick with us, that you invite your teams, that you really get them to see that building just starts with one block. So you don't need to come into this thinking that you have to be a sponsoring superstar, a Scentsy superstar. You know, we just want you to come in and learn what it looks like to be empowered, to be encouraged. And if you want to grow your business, that's what we're here for. So we are launching tonight with stories. And one thing that I will say about stories is when I first started selling Scentsy, which is so funny, because I'm going to share just my story really quickly before we go into our first consultant share. But
why are we air quoting selling and stories? You're literally selling Scentsy, so we don't have to air quote it. And you're about to tell us a story. So again, we don't have to air quote it.
I joined Scentsy, I was a nurse.
Why are you making air quotes?
What the joined Scentsy? You paid and joined Scentsy. I don't know why we're air quoting everything.
So I was full-time as a nurse. Literally had just gotten married the month before in October 2012. My husband buys my kit in November, and the rest is history. And I never say I sell Scentsy. I always say I share Scentsy, because that's what I did.
No. You're not sharing shit. You're giving them a wax sample. Maybe they got a wax sample, in which case maybe we can consider that sharing. But even still, you're gonna write it off in your taxes and all of this. So is it sharing? I would say no, but that's just me. You're selling Scentsy. You're telling people that you are a consultant with Scentsy, and they are ordering from you and giving you their money. That is selling. What is the definition of selling, you ask? I'm so glad you asked, and we're gonna look it up right now. The definition of sell from the Oxford Dictionary is give or hand over something in exchange for money. Are you giving all of your people free warmers? Because if that's the case, then you don't even have a business, because you're not making any money. You're spending a shit ton, especially with how much their warmers are. But you are selling. You're not sharing. I just wish these MLM people would stop saying they're just sharing. No, you're not. When you're telling people you're sharing and not selling, you're just gaslighting people at that point, because you're literally selling. Okay, rant over. It's about that time that we take a break and thank this video sponsor, which is a repeat sponsor, and that is Aura. Now I want to share something with you that really caught me off guard, and that is the amount of personal information that I recently found on the interwebs all about myself. I recently did a search online with my name, and to say I was shocked is a complete understatement. As soon as I hit enter in the search bar with my name, I saw myself pop up on one of these broker sites that we see so often. And let me tell you that the information that they have on yours truly is absolutely terrifying. Not only do they have every address that I've ever lived at, but they also have my phone numbers and, even worse, my family's names, phone numbers, and addresses. And I feel like we just need to acknowledge what a huge invasion of privacy that is for anybody. But as a growing creator here on the YouTubes, it is definitely something that makes me feel very uneasy. I don't think this type of information should be so easily available for anybody and everybody to access. It's crazy to think that all of our data is just out there for anybody to potentially grab and utilize however they want to utilize it. And something even crazier, I don't know if you've heard, but earlier this year, AT&T revealed that over 73 million customers, past and present, had their records unknowingly released onto the dark web. That is a staggering amount of people whose information is now in the hands of who knows who. And guess who was a past AT&T customer? Yours truly. Now, of course, AT&T did recommend to these individuals who are concerned about their information being on the dark web to go ahead and change their passwords and use strong passwords, monitor account activity, and consider credit freezes or fraud alerts from the credit bureaus. But let's be real, who these days has time to do all of those things pretty much every day just to ensure that your information isn't in the wrong hands? Because I know I don't. And this, my friends, is where Aura comes in, who is again the sponsor of today's video. They do all of this for me in one easy to use app. Now, let's say that my information was in fact leaked on the dark web from this AT&T fiasco. I wouldn't have to worry because Aura is and will be already protecting me. They're always on, doing the hard work of keeping my information safe so I don't have to sacrifice my privacy just because it's a chore to keep up with it. I value my privacy and I know that you do too. This is why I highly recommend checking out Aura. You can do this by clicking the link in the description, or you can go directly to aura.com, that's AURA/SAMD, SAMDEE. Again, that's aura.com/SAMD to start your free trial today. And thank you again to Aura to being an amazing repeat sponsor of my channel.
And with me, what happened was I got my first team member and decided to help them reach their goals and so on and so forth. And it just became this whole like sharing with my customers, sharing with my team. And it was really joyful. So tonight, y'all are about to hear some of these stories. For me, and I'm going to go ahead and say insert income disclosure to cover every consultant tonight that's going to share. This business can no doubt 100% change your life. Many of you guys have watched my journey. The good, the bad, the highs, the lows, the ugly. And I'll tell you what, that's the best part about Scentsy is you don't have to come in and know what you're doing. It's awesome. And it's weird.
Why? I just reacted to another consultant. This one was in doTERRA who said the exact same thing. You can come in and not have an idea of what you're doing. That's just a really bad idea. Like, you can't go into anything pertaining to business and not have any kind of idea what you're doing. Whether it's a job that you just got hired for and you're starting, you have to have some kind of knowledge of what you're going to do, right? Maybe you're starting your own freelance business. You have to have some kind of knowledge to do that too. You have to have contract knowledge. You have to have knowledge of the laws in your state or whatever area you're in. You have to have knowledge in anything you want to be successful in. And if you don't have that knowledge, you really have to work hard to get it before you can be successful. And that is probably why over 99% of people who join MLMs under this notion of I don't have to know anything end up losing money. Just saying.
Because when I first came into Scentsy, I had no intention to build. Like I said, I was a nurse. My mom's a nurse. My aunt's a nurse practitioner. My grandma's a nurse. So on and so forth. I thought that'd be my life. And so whenever I learned, wow, like you don't have to do these fancy classes you buy to learn how to be like a networking boss. You don't have to do all these things. You just kind of learn as you go. And if you've been in Scentsy for a while, or even the past, I would say 3 to 5 years, you understand what I'm saying. And I've worked with a lot of y'all, and we've been through the highs and the lows. And the one thing about Scentsy is they're so consistently safe. They're just such a safe place. So a few weeks ago, we decided, me and my husband, that we were going to start doing retreats for y'all. It was well overdue, and we will have another one in the fall. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for any leaders that want to attend that. But there were some amazing, I'm literally looking at their names right now, some amazing leaders that were able to attend. And I wish every one of them could speak. I wish so many of y'all on here could speak and share your story because it's so significant. And I've watched a lot of your stories. But these 5 in particular, and we're going to start with a girl named Megan. They really, all of them but 2, so 3 that are speaking tonight, I really got to connect with on this leadership retreat. And I think you guys are going to see that their story is going to inspire you to know that it doesn't matter how messy your life looks like in the moment, or if your kids are like going crazy and you're trying to jump on a meeting, or if you're nervous about what to say on your team training. If they can do it, you can do it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up our first girly. I'm going to pull up Megan. Where is Megan? Megan, where are you at? Go in the chat if you're on so I can see, because I don't see your name on here. So if I do not see Megan first, I'm going to get Kesley. Okay. So what I'm going to do, Kesley, are you on here? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Kesley. Okay. And so I'm going to bring you up, sister. There you are. I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to add you. All right. Talk so I can see if we can hear you.
All right, can you hear me?
She's here.
Yay!
So I'm going to give you the floor and I'm going to let you share for a couple minutes. Just introduce yourself, when you joined Scentsy, what your title is, only because I think in this instance that is very important, and also what Scentsy's done for you. I'm going to mute myself.
All right, so first off, I just want to apologize. I am in my office.
You're both terrible at the air quote thing.
Which is also the laundry room and the dog's room. So you might hear my washing machine going because I'm getting those last minute clothes in for the week. So welcome, y'all. My name is Kesley Williams. I have been with Scentsy since March of 2022. I honestly was actually a previous network marketing person for another company. And my sponsor, Amber Garrett, she actually not stole me away, but she made Scentsy seem like I needed to do that right then and there. And she had posted one day her paycheck of what she got. And I was like, you know what? If she can do that with, I think at the time she had 3 kids, working on the 4th kid. And I'm like, if she can do that, you know what? I have 1, let me do this. So I clicked join with that $25 kit. And let me tell you something, I would have joined on the $99, and I wish I would have joined on the $99 because Scentsy has done so many things for me. I didn't want to join Scentsy because of trying to grow a team or do a paycheck or anything like that. I just wanted a discount because I was spending so much with Amber that I was like, okay, I need to start doing this myself. And with Amber, I was able to grow so much. In the first month, I actually had my first teamie. Because I was doing things that Amber was saying, hey, you need to do this. Hey, let's do that. Hey, girl, let's get you going.
The first month she's already recruiting. Why are we not focusing on perfecting the sales part of it or the sharing part of it if it's not a pyramid scheme? Why is it always focused around recruiting? Just a point I wanted to bring up.
And with her consistency, she has really broadened my eyes and opened my eyes to a whole new lifestyle. I love Scentsy more than anything.
More than anything. I love Scentsy more than anything. You want to know what I love more than anything? My kids. And I'm sure she didn't mean it like that, but I just feel like sometimes I'm listening to a bunch of children
or highly trained preschoolers
play pretend. Like, this is my favorite thing in the world. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop lying.
I love my customers. I've met customers now. One of my best customers ever. She actually invited me. She lives in, not Wisconsin. She lives up north. I can't remember it now. And she actually invited me to go on an ice fishing trip with her. My customer did that. She's like, you are the best. I've loved you connecting with me. She's like, you've made it so easy. If there's a mistake, you've reached out to me. If, since he's done something wrong, which they really don't do anything wrong, you may get a broken bulb here and there, but that's about it.
It's like, they're sorry. Now Scentsy does no wrong, nothing wrong. They are perfect in every way. What are we looking at Scentsy as God now or some higher power? Can we stop pretending this is like a religion?
It's not that serious.
Yes.
It is a network marketing company. It is one of your quote unquote jobs.
She invited me to go ice fishing with her. And that right there has just shown me that I've made friends with Scentsy that I would not have met. I'm an introvert. That's it. People think, Kesley, you're so bubbly and you're so out there. You'll talk to anybody. Yes, I'll talk to anybody. But my gosh, my nerves, my armpits right now are sweaty and everything. So like, it takes me out of my comfort zone. And that's what I've actually loved so much, because it's made me grow as a person. And I've made some amazing friendships, especially when Chloe put on this retreat. She asked me to be on this retreat. We did a few weeks ago, and I met some amazing leaders. Oh, and by the way, I forgot, I'm a lead consultant. Okay. I'm a lead consultant. So I'm not a director. I'm not a star. I'm a lead.
You peasant!
Chloe saw something in me. Amber sees something in me. And I wouldn't trade Scentsy for the world. I love being able to come home, see packages on my door, and have my daughter, she's going to be 4 in June, open up those packages, sniff everything with me. And let me tell you, if you guys have kids, you know they're going to be straight up honest with your customers. They're going to be like, that smells bad, or that smells, wow, that smells really good, mommy. And even when I got my testers, there's a few teeth marks in some of them because they smelled so good and she was eating the wax of them. It was funny. But I felt very, very honored that Chloe asked me to be here, and it means the world to me. I actually didn't have anything prepared or anything, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to go straight from the heart. Exactly what's going to come out of my mouth is what needs to come out of my mouth. And I hope Amber's okay with me keep bringing her up, but she's one of my best friends, and I would not have met her without Scentsy. So you guys, Scentsy is a community. We're family. We're there for one another. We don't care about what your title is. Title doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. And like Chloe, she's taking her time out of her day to do this with us.
I said it before and I'll say it again, but maybe title doesn't mean anything until you don't have a title because you left Scentsy. That's when a lot of times in any MLM, the community is suddenly gone because you're not putting any money into it. You're not putting any more team recruiting into it. So they're going to focus on the people who are, because that's how they're making their money. Just putting that out there. I may or may not know from experience.
And I absolutely love it. So I just can't say enough about Scentsy. My husband sometimes get annoyed. He's like, you can do Scentsy again tonight? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, that's good because that makes you happy. And then so one other day we had our black raspberry, and then I'm done. We had our black raspberry vanilla early access bars come in, and I started smelling them, and I went, ooh, that smells good. And he's like, he kept sniffing his nose. I'm like, you said you weren't going to smell anything. You said you were tired of smelling stuff. And what did he do? He took the whole box and smelled the whole thing. So Scentsy is a family thing for me. My husband's in it with me. My daughter's in it with me. My mom supports me. That's what I'm saying. Scentsy is just family, and I'm so glad that I get to be a part of it. And I hope to be here for another 20 years. So thanks, Chloe.
So I just want to go off of that and say that, number one, you're an amazing leader. And I love the fact that you said, I'm a lead consultant, because there's so many people out there, honestly, and just being open, they'll look at me, and you probably felt this way. So I'm going to ask you a question, like, does it make you feel as a leader sometimes like that you don't want to share or didn't? Because I remember before the retreat, which is why I'm saying this, you look at people that may be director, star director, superstar director. And my question for you is this, before we move on to the next speaker: what did you have to push through or realize to know that even, or as a, not even, but as a lead consultant, as a leader, 1 or 1,000, you're a leader, what made you realize that in order to grow, you had to get out of your comfort zone and realize you had value to add? Does that make sense? Like, what made you realize, like, I need to do stuff like this? I need to go to the retreat. I need to be on the leadership page. I need to be on trainings. Like, what was that turning point for you?
So it really wasn't until recently that I felt like I could actually share things and people were actually caring about what I was saying. And to be 100% transparent, it's honestly just happened after the leadership retreat. And I hate to sound like that, but it was an eye opener for me, because there was one individual, I don't want to mention names because I don't want to put anyone on the spot. I was very intimidated by her at first, very, very, very intimidated. And then she opened up and I was like, she's just like me. She's just like all these others. Like,
almost like a real person.
Oh my gosh. And like, I look up to her, and it was very inspiring. It was just like, okay, we are all the same person. We all have the same struggles. Some of us just hide it a little bit better. That's all. So yeah.
Amen. I love it so much. Thank you for sharing. You're awesome. You are going to do huge things this spring and summer, and it really was so awesome to get to know you. So yeah, y'all, if y'all have not plugged in with Kesley, she's awesome. She has a lot of value to add, especially if you're wanting to sponsor. She has a killer little like Canva launch, kind of like something that keeps her on track when she's training. I know I have it in my Canva and I'm editing it to make it mine. It was so good. So I just had to share that. And she can definitely share it on the leadership page, and I'll share it on our team page. But yeah, you rock, Kesley. I'm gonna get Megan now. So let me get Megan. Where is she at? There's Megan. There we go. There's sis. Hi. Sis. Hello. Okay, man. With the bill, I was gonna wear my build shirt, and I see all my girls in the on. I'm like, man, I gotta do better next week. So yeah, I just want to say first, Megan's freaking awesome. Before I get started with you, you are such a joy. Please don't make us cry. I have a feeling you may. Do your best not to. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself and just let you share a little bit, Megan, about, share your title. When you joined, I would love for them to hear a tiny piece of your life, because I think that's important, and then why you love Scentsy. So I'm gonna.
All right. So I'm Megan Sherwood. I am Jen Brandt's daughter. She's my Scentsy mom. She's not my real mom.
That's creepy.
Could you imagine going to work and like your boss just being like, hey, mom or dad? That'd be weird. I feel like that's just a weird. Why are these MLM people like this? They just think everybody is family. No, that is unhealthy to look at it that way. What are we doing?
We met when I was in respiratory school like 12 years ago, and I always bought Scentsy from her, and I was just like, maybe I should sell it. So I'm glad that I did, and that I met her all those years ago. I joined in July of 2021. I was pregnant with my second baby. Update, I now have 3. Oh, there comes my second baby. Come here, bud. Come here. So, like everybody was saying about it being a family thing, this is my middle baby. So he is who I was pregnant with whenever I started, and he'll be 3 in October. So this July will be my 3-year anniversary. I'm a superstar consultant. I had my director last year, I think, and it had dropped. So my mission is to get it back. But like I said, I joined because I loved the stuff. But I stayed for everything else.
I want to address that. So she just said that she was a director, but she dropped back down to superstar consultant. Superstar is the level right before you're at the quote unquote leadership level of director and above. And the amount of times this happens is actually sickening. I could speak more to Scentsy because I was in Scentsy, but so many times you'll see Scentsy consultants reach that level of director that they worked so hard to get to by recruiting and getting on their team to sell more and whatnot, that you'll see them just hit director for 1 month and then they can't maintain it because whatever specials they were running, personal specials they were running, they're not running anymore because they already reached director, or their team dropped off, or they're burnt out from just pushing so much to finally get director that they take a second to take a breath and it slips right from them because it's so easy to get knocked down from director. So I think that's important to point out, because so many times you'll hear, you can do this too, you can get to director and above, you're a great leader, like she was just saying, where to maintain that level of leadership, quote unquote, in Scentsy, especially now with it being more and more saturated, it's almost going to be impossible because of the requirements. And 10 out of 10 times, the Scentsy consultants will comment in this video or say that's not true, blah, 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 but it is true. I went over this in another video. The amount of Scentsy consultants compared to the amount of McDonald's in the United States is so ridiculous. And I'll put a clip of it here if I can remember what video it's in. But I did a little math equation of how many Scentsy consultants there are per 1 McDonald's in the United States. And the numbers just prove that Scentsy is absolutely oversaturated with consultants. And I looked up how many McDonald's there were in the US, and in comparison to Scentsy consultants, there are 22.17 consultants to every one US McDonald's, but it's not oversaturated. That is what, like, there's a McDonald's on every other street corner, especially if you're living in a city area or a densely populated area, you're going to see McDonald's everywhere. So when you think of there being over 22 consultants per one McDonald's in the United States, it is definitely oversaturated.
Yikes, right?
Literally everything else. The community is one of my favorite parts of it. Like you have people you talk to and stuff. It's okay. It's okay. My laptop went off. It's fine. But like I knew Jen before, but because I knew her, then I've met everybody else. The leadership retreat, I made a whole bunch of friends. And we still all talk to each other and, text messages and stuff. But it really gave me like a sense of me. So like, I have 3 kids and a job and a husband and all this stuff. And I started to like lose myself. I was just always those things. I was never anything else. So by having an outlet like Scentsy to put my time and effort into, it's really like given me a new light, I guess you could say. I lost my train of thought. But I love that my kids can be involved. Even though it is my thing, they're still here all the time. So they like to smell all the things, like Kesley said with her daughter. Mine also have some teeth marks in them as well.
That's concerning. Well, sure, yeah, they say their stuff is non-toxic. Your children should not be biting the wax. What are we doing in this life?
This middle baby tried to eat a bar, so I'm just glad that they don't hurt them. But I had always had kind of like a low self-esteem, and a lot of times I didn't really feel like people actually liked me, like they just tolerated me. But after being around all of my Scentsy people and who I met at Scentsy family reunion and everything, like I genuinely feel like people do care for me because I do care for them. Yep. And I am gonna cry. But it's just so much more than the wax and the warmers. I almost didn't get to go to our retreat, but I was able to. And Jen was a huge help for that. So it's just, the extra income is, that's always nice, but that's really not the reason that I choose to be here. It's all of you guys. So,
Said it before and I'll say it again. You shouldn't have to pay for a community of people to be there for you. You shouldn't have to do that. And if you do have a community of people that are only there for you because you paid for them, let that be your sign that those are not your people. Those are red flags. That's your collection of red flags. You should never have to pay for support. Unless we're talking about therapy, that's a different level of support. The support that you get from family and friends, you should not have to pay a dime for. And if you do, those people are not worth your time or energy. Please know that.
So can I ask you a follow-up question?
absolutely.
So, and I love the fact that I got to know you at the retreat, and total God thing that you were able to come. And Jen Brandt, if y'all don't know Jen Brandt, that girl,
Amazing.
You wouldn't even know that she's going through fire. She cares so much. And the community is what kept me in Scentsy when I was going through a really hard time. Not the cash, but you guys. And so my question is that I'm going to ask you, because you have 3 little ones, right, running around. Yep. You are super creative. You're flighty like Justin. You're like a squirrel, but most creatives are. What has helped you not compare your business to other people's because of the season of life you're in? I think people need to hear that also have little kids that find themselves feeling like, well, crap, I can't make this flyer. I can't have a customer follow-up day. I can't. What was it for you that's helped you to learn to do it your way?
So I think one of the biggest things was finally, I'm ironically also a perfectionist. So the way that my mind works, if I can't do it 100%, I just don't do it, which seems crazy, but that's just how my brain has worked for years and years. And even a little bit before retreat, but at retreat, you know, everybody has their own ways that they do their business and everything. And I took bits and pieces of that, but ultimately I know that there's 2 evenings out of the week that my daughter dances, and I actually have time to work on things. So I have just learned myself, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, your customers just want to hear from you, your teammates just want to hear from you. Whenever you can do that is when you can do it. And like you said, my season of life is chaos, so I just roll with the chaos. I have a plan, you know, I make my weekly stuff, but I don't beat myself up if I don't do it on those days, because this point in my life right now, you can see, it's just craziness.
Yeah, your son's probably like, I've heard that girl Chloe's voice before. Most little kids hear my voice and they're like, yep, I know that voice. And I love that you were so authentic, and I hope that y'all can see through Megan. This is the main reason I wanted to bring her on. Like, number one, she's a director. Once a director, always a director. You know, it's my pet peeve, Megan, but just so you know, you're not a superstar consultant, you're a director. You can do it with a crazy life and by being unique and by coming as you are. And it's funny because I figured you were a perfectionist. I just didn't want to say that because I find myself that way too. Like, it holds me back a lot, honestly, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't have the flyer ready, or I don't have this. So I'm not even following up or doing anything when I could have booked a party or sharing the joint opportunity, or like, you know. And so I feel like a lot of them out there are like this. And I loved that you said, just start, you know, just start, just do it. When the kids dance, or the kid, you're in carpool or you're wherever, just do it.
That's that time and location freedom we were all promised in the MLM world. You're in carpool line, get on your phone and start working. Fuck that. I'm gonna be scrolling, doom scrolling, listening to music, singing, chair dancing, anything but working. No. Why do they think this is such a great thing? I don't get it. I would have if it was me from, I don't know, 6 years ago when I was still in this world. But now that I'm out, I just don't get it. Like, it's just not, no, it does not sound like a fun time.
Because you are doing it for the community, but you have your babies looking at you. And mama on this training at 8:30 at night. I don't even know if you've had dinner, maybe not.
Again, time freedom, 8:30 in the evening on a team training. No, I'm Fortniting, I'm binging, I'm enjoying my kid free time for the half hour that I get it a day. No, immediately no.
You know, but they see that, and in behaviors from our kids are caught. And I really admire that about you, and I love you so much. Okay, bye, Megan. Okay. So next, I'm going to pull up my girl, Alex. Hello.
Hello.
All right. So I'm just going to brag on you for a minute. Alex is amazing. She is a leader. She's going to introduce herself, share her title, how long she's been in Scentsy. She is under another superstar director in our organization, Amber Ryan. And so she is clearly, obviously, a Spitfire. And it was really an honor to have you at our retreat. This is the first time I was able to really connect with you. You were so cool. To me, you remind me, you're like a guy's girl, meaning you can get along with anybody. And I admire that about you. But also with your history, with your kids, with your job history, you're so inspiring to me, and your work ethic is literally on one of my mentors, Jennifer Anderson. You remind me a lot of her. And you're one of a kind. So I had to have you on this call tonight because people need to hear you, and they need to hear your story, and they need to know who you are, because you're freaking awesome and so many people don't know you. So I'm going to mute myself and let you go ahead and share.
Sure, and I'm dying over here, dying. Okay, so my name is Alexandria Edwards. You can call me Alex. I joined in 2020. Actually, I celebrate 4 years this month on the 28th. and I am a director. So I joined for the discount, you guys. Like, I had a long list of stuff that I wanted, and I was like, you know what? I just went and joined. I didn't know when I joined that I needed the community as bad as I did. I had an 11-month-old, and I knew that I was sliding into postpartum depression, but I was fighting it. So joining Scentsy gave me a purpose. It gave me an outlet. It gave me something to do for me, stepping away from just being a mom and being a wife. It was really my outlet. It was my happy place. And I dove in head first.
I think a lot of times we overlook the risk that comes with diving in head first into something when you're in a depressed state, like postpartum depression. Now, I want to preface this by saying I am not a mental health professional. I am just somebody who does a lot of research on mental health because of things that I've dealt with in my past, and just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? And what I've learned is that when you're in a depressed state, whether it's manic or you're having a depressive episode or you're dealing with postpartum depression, you're not thinking clearly at all. So choosing to join an MLM, put down money on an MLM for the community can be, in my opinion, dangerous, because it could just lead to a lot of different things. I don't want to get too far into it, but I wanted to point that out. I feel for her for having to go through postpartum depression. It's not an easy thing to deal with, and I understand that. I just hate to see people in this position, because it happens so often within network marketing, joining MLMs and thinking that's their way, that's what's gonna help them, fix them, if you will, and get them the community that they need to help them through it, where that is not actually true. You're just prolonging more pain, in my opinion, again, in the long run.
We had always wanted to move to Florida. So like a year after I joined, we moved to Florida. And it was not what I thought it was going to be. I did not love it like I thought. So that was during the incentive where we could earn the Alaskan cruise, and COVID was cray-cray. And I was miserable and so depressed and didn't want to do anything. And I told my husband, I'm like, I'm earning this cruise, and if they offer the payout, I'm taking it. And we're packing and we're going back home. And I earned the cruise. I got the email that they were going to do the payout. And I was like, okay, I started packing that day. Like right then I started packing, because we were in this crazy lease. We were going to be penalized like $1,700 to break our lease. So I used my money to get me back home and get me back to my happy place. So not once, but twice, Scentsy has put me in the situation where it brought me out of darkness. Now, on the flip side of that, like, I could talk all day long about all of the things that Scentsy has done, but it has took me out of my comfort zone as of right now doing this, because I'm shaking, sweating all day long. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. But it's been with so many different things. I got on an airplane and flew for the first time by myself to home office. I would have never done that before. I got on an airplane again, and then went and got on a boat and went out of country all by myself. I never would have done that, all because of Scentsy. And next month I will be getting on an airplane again and going to Hawaii, which has been a dream trip and been on my bucket list forever. And I never would have been able to have done that before.
I want to offer a different perspective to this, because this is something I never would have done before joining Scentsy, and that is traveling alone. She's saying she could have never done it. I would argue that you can. You're just not encouraged to do so until you're in the MLM, because when you earn the trip, you're likely only earning for yourself. So you'll have to pay for anybody else to come with you. So you're going to go alone, right? You're going to be like, well, I guess I'm going alone because I got this trip and I don't want it to go to waste. That's what happened to me when I traveled for the first time to my first Scentsy family reunion convention. That was the first time I ever traveled alone, and I always said I could never travel alone without Scentsy. Guess what? In 35 days from today, I am traveling alone by choice and by my doing, not any MLM. You can travel alone. You don't need an MLM to do that.
So there's so many things that this company can do for you if you just put in the work. And I'm all for going in hard and doing all the things to make it work.
I love it so much. So I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. If you could give all these consultants on here, there's almost 100 people on here. If you could give them your best advice with Scentsy, especially if they want to build a business, what would it be? No pressure, but what would it be?
Don't do it! Don't do it!
Work. Even when you don't feel like it, work. Y'all, I'm sick with a fever. I'm in here working. It doesn't matter. I work. I'm not saying make yourself crazy and neglect yourself, but when you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway.
Guess what happens when you're sick with a fever and you have a traditional job? You have a sick day. You take a sick day and somebody will help cover what you need to do. And you could take the time that you need to rest and recover instead of going to your office and working your Scentsy business. That's something that deserves air quotes. No, that sounds treacherous. I don't want to be working when I have a fever and feel like garbage. I am very much a baby when I'm sick. So you can find me in my bed until I'm feeling better. Potentially crying for my mom.
I want my mom.
I don't know. You will not find me working. I can promise you that. I will be letting y'all know, hey, there's no video coming out in the near future because I'm sick. No, this is not, no. Take a fucking sick day for the love of God.
So you mean like discipline, like be disciplined over your feelings, over your emotions.
Discipline, that's toxic. That's not being disciplined. Working while you're sick instead of giving your body what it needs, which is rest, is not discipline. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Is it me? Am I losing my mind?
And I want to say, to go off that, because I feel like we're so similar in that aspect. You know, most people see the highs, right? They see you earn the trip. They see you on the leadership cruise. They see you going to Hawaii and they go, well, I could never do that. Or, oh, she's so lucky. Or, oh, so I hope this helps people see that. And y'all, I hope y'all can hear in her voice, like, this is not comfortable. And even for me, you know, practice makes perfect. And that's where with trainings like this, right now, you don't realize the impact, but a year from now, you're going to see one life you changed, right? And it's all about that one life and that next life and that next life. And, you know, I'm so honored to have you in our leadership and in our organization because you're fire and you inspire me. And I'm just so thankful that you're with us. I'm so thankful that we have you here in Scentsy. And yeah, is there anything else you want to share before I go to the
I do have one more thing to say, and this is something that happened today, and I was telling my husband earlier, I was like, this is personal growth from Scentsy. When I talk about getting out of my comfort zone, I've never been a person that is good at public speaking. When we had it in school, like I was like, can I be sick this day? I do not want to go. That's never been my thing.
Oh, you took a sick day? That was an option for you back then? Sorry, I can't help myself.
I would not go in front of anybody. But this morning at church, they wanted the kids, because the preacher always calls the kids forward and he talks to them and they pray. And Liam wanted me to go up with him. So I was sitting at the front and they wanted the kids to come up and sing the next song that they were going to sing. And Liam was like, I want you to go with me. And in my mind, I'm like, absolutely not. And then I thought to myself, you have to lead the way. So I went up there and sang with that baby in front of the church, and I would have never done that. And so that in our business, we have to lead the way.
Woo, girl, you better preach. You better have went up there with him. He would have been so mad at you. he would have been like, he would have probably yelled in the church, like, my mom doesn't want to come up here with me. That's what they do at that age, right? At 4, it's like if you don't do what they ask you to do and go out of your comfort zone, a 4-year-old will rat you out real quick. They don't care. So, anyways, you're awesome. I love you lots. You inspire me. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to go next to, where is my Courtney Reyes? There she is. All right.
Hi.
Hello, Queen. Y'all, so let me just introduce the Queen.
I would like to introduce Queen of Fables.
Top 50 over here. Annual mentor. One of a very low number this year. I'm so proud of you. I love you. You're my sister. You inspire me. I know many know you on here, but it is a no-brainer why I have you on this call. You have picked me up, inspired me. You've kept me focused. And you keep it really real and you work your butt off. So I'm going to just let you go ahead and do what you do.
Hey guys, so my name is Courtney Reyes, aka Wax Queen Coco, and I've been with Scentsy now for almost 4 years. I started off extremely strong and promoted to director in just 2 months, and y'all, I joined because I just wanted a discount. I was buying the product, I love the product, but I just wanted the discount. I had no intention at all to grow a team, to lead a team. But here we are today. I am very blessed because of this business. Just like Alex said, I could tell you guys a long list of things that Scentsy has done for me and my family. Scentsy has helped me build our home. Scentsy has helped me travel outside of the country for the first time.
Again, you don't need an MLM like Scentsy to build a home or travel outside the country. Both of those things are very expensive, correct? But the likelihood of you either earning the trip or making the money to do those things within an MLM like Scentsy is so slim. There's an article from the FTC linked always in my description that gives you the facts of it probably not being likely that this will ever happen for you. Also, imagine if people just got on the interwebs every day or went to a team meeting at their job and said, I am so happy to work here because I was able to build my house and travel outside the country. Nobody gives a flying You are getting paid for the work you're doing, the sharing you're doing, because we don't sell in Scentsy, right? And the recruiting you're doing, mainly the recruiting, that is what is getting you the money to do these things. And also, they never tell you what their significant other does for work. Are they the breadwinner? Are they paying the majority of the bills and your Scentsy income is supplemental, whatever you're making? Is your Scentsy income the fun money? What is the real status of your family? Are you already middle to upper class and this is just extra? Because that makes a big difference. And a lot of times in these MLMs, when you see the people at the top, their significant other or whoever they're doing life with and paying bills with is paying the bulk of the expenses of life. But they don't tell you that part.
This company is absolutely amazing. It has allowed me to only work 3 days at my full-time, my big girl job, and allowed me to spend more time with my family. So if any of you, by the way, side note, was at World Tour and heard me speak on stage about sponsoring and verbiage, I led with that I'm a mom of a teenager who got silver last year, but baby, remember I told y'all we were coming for gold. My baby girl is a world cheerleading champion, and this past weekend she brought home gold, so we are super excited. And without this company, I would not have been able to take so many days off of work to do that with her, to be there for her, to be front row and center for her and cheer her on. But you guys, I wanted to share a little bit about the retreat that Chloe did, and my story is going to be about that. Again, Scentsy has blessed me beyond anything. I could talk to you guys all night about it. But community was not one of the things that drew me in to Scentsy. Now, I know a lot of moms can relate to the community aspect, or someone who may not have a big family or a big community and they want to connect and get to know people, or maybe they've relocated and they don't know anyone, so then they join Scentsy because they want that sense of community. That was never on my radar. I have gained a family with Scentsy. Some of my best friends are in this company.
I'm sorry, but her bobbing around on her treadmill is so fucking distracting.
Stop it. For the love of Christ, stop it!
Am I the only one? Like, at least take yourself off the screen when somebody else is talking. I don't know if it's because I usually watch my video reaction videos a little sped up. I don't know if that's why. It's so distracting. All I keep looking at is her head going up and down and side to side. What is happening?
And during the leadership retreat, I was just sitting down having a conversation, and everyone was asking about annual sales and annual mentor, and where was everyone at, and what was going on, and what were you thinking? And my first 2 years, this is my 4th year, my first 2 years I earned annual mentor and annual sales. My 3rd year I earned annual sales and kicked myself really hard for not earning annual mentor. I was very hard on myself for not earning it. And then when the next year came, I was like, okay, I'm going to earn it. Well, we got to the leadership retreat, literally the last month to be able to earn this prestigious award. And I was like, you guys, I'm going to be one person away. And all of the girls looked at me and they're like, no, girl, you earning this. Like, what do you mean? Like, how pull up your numbers. Where's everyone at? Where's number 12? Where's number 13? What do you need? So I started going over everything that I needed. And when they were encouraging me, sometimes as a leader, like, you're the hardest on yourself, right? And sometimes as a leader, you forget who you are, and you forget that you're a badass, and you forget that you are where you are for a reason. And sometimes you need other people to bring you up, especially when you're constantly pouring into others, especially when you're constantly believing in others. Sometimes you lose that belief in yourself. And that's exactly what happened in that moment for me. And you guys, I literally gave up. I gave up until they were like, no, you're earning it. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're so close. Don't give up. You have a whole month. Like, you can do this. That's a bag party. Like, get a bag party. I immediately texted a girl who was on my mind, who I had a conversation with about joining, and gave her a bag party. And it took every day, every single day, but I hit annual mentor on the very last day. And it was an amazing feeling.
It took every day. So, like, was this person that she gave the bag party to, was she pestering her every single day of the month so she could get annual mentor? Did I understand that correctly? I don't know. Again, I was distracted by the bobbing.
As a leader, we have to remember who we are. And Chloe said this to me. Sometimes you just need to be reminded. And that's what we were there to do. This community is so incredible. It is so uplifting. And I am so blessed to know everyone who was at that retreat. And if you were at that table that night and you were encouraging me and you told me not to give up, thank you so much, because I couldn't have done it without you guys, period. So I love you guys. And thank you so much, Chloe, for everything. I love you pieces.
So I just want to say one thing that really caught my attention, and I just want to remind you, I told you to remember who you were because you told me that a year ago in June. Do you remember? And I was in a rough spot, forgetting that I had earned that trip, right? Forgetting why we were there. And you looked at me and you said, Chloe Cox, I need you to remember who you are. And because you stopped and told me that, instead of letting me sit in a sad party, I was able to give it back. And that's what it is. We give it back. You give it, we give it back. And it's a team effort. And in leadership, which is why I'm so glad you were second to last, people have to remember how they got here, how they got to lead. There's so many leaders I see on here right now that are excellent lead star, superstar consultants, directors, and they forgot who they were. And that can seem like such a statement, like, oh, just no, but it's like, really, like, you need to remember how you all got here. And you really instilled that in me. And that's why I was able to give it back to you. And this community needs to realize that we need to do that more. When we see somebody struggling, reach out to them. I don't care if they're on your team or not. That's irrelevant. Like, Courtney, I'm not even her superstar director. You know what I mean? So it's all about, when are you going to need somebody? And you'll need them eventually. So how are you pouring into them in this moment so you can build that, so you can be there for them? And I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. Like I said, you inspired me. I'll see you at Annual Mentor this year. Sis is already going. We already got 2 recruits this month. My goal is 5. And if I didn't have people like you going, no, I'm going to sponsor this many this month, like, you elevate me. Strong people elevate strong people. So just remember, Courtney, that you are such an inspiration to so many. And I love you lots.
Love you.
All right, y'all. So we are going to end it with one of my most favorite people in the world. Her name is Janice.
Janice?
Oh my God.
Some of y'all may know her. Some of y'all may not. After tonight, y'all are about to see. And, you know, she's my Jesus girl. We talk about Jesus a lot, which I love it. I love when I can find people I can talk about Jesus too. And you're amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and let you share. So start with your title, when you joined, and a little piece of what Scentsy's done for you. You got this.
So, like Chloe said, my name is Janice, and I have been with Scentsy, just celebrated my 3-year anniversary in April. I am a superstar consultant, and I am a stay-at-home mom. So when I joined Scentsy, I wanted something for like a hobby for myself, something to do for me other than the typical mom jobs, cleaning, laundry, all those things, something fun for me. And like most of the other girls, when I joined, I didn't think about a team or anything like that. I just wanted hobby, a little extra. Disney money never hurts either. So I have never been a very confident person. And so when Chloe was saying she was going to ask people to speak, I was like, oh my gosh, please don't ask me. But I knew in the back of my mind that she probably was going to, and that I needed to do this. So Scentsy has been so many amazing things for me, but the confidence it has given me, especially over the last few months, is just been remarkable. I was on the leadership retreat with Chloe, and I almost didn't go. I almost talked myself out of it because my anxiety was debilitating, and she was very encouraging and so supportive, even though I was on the fence going back and forth and probably drove her crazy with it.
Did anybody actually want to go to the retreat? Because so far, the people that we heard from that were at the retreat said they almost didn't go. Did anybody want to be there? What? Huh?
But I was like, you know what? I need to do this. I need to do this for myself. And I live in Kentucky, and the retreat was in North Carolina. So I drove by myself for 10 hours crying as I was leaving. It was very hard, and it was very much out of my comfort zone, but I knew I had to do this. I had to step out on my faith and trust that this was God's plan for me. And the retreat was amazing. Every single person was just incredible. I was so worried that people were coming together with some of their teamies and it was just me. And it wasn't cliquey or anything like that. It was come as you are, and everybody was just there for everyone. It didn't matter who you were under or anything like that. And everyone just made me feel so just connected with everybody. So I never thought that God would use Scentsy to fulfill, I feel like, his calling for my life. But I feel like that is what he is using Scentsy for. He is giving me this story, and Scentsy is part of it. And I feel like I had to share this. So it's just been a big transformation for me. And I find it I find it's not a coincidence that our trademark with Scentsy is a butterfly, because a butterfly doesn't start out as a butterfly. It has to go through transformation process to get to be this beautiful thing. And I am just so thankful that Scentsy, I found Scentsy, but no, God did this. And I'm just so thankful for the blessings that have come from it. And I hope that I am in this for many, many years, because I absolutely love everything that this business has done for me and my family. But most for me, the personal growth for me, it was something that I didn't know I needed, and God's purpose for me and using Scentsy to shape me into the person that I've always wanted to be.
We haven't talked at all about the product of Scentsy. So the product doesn't matter. It's just the community that you're paying for is what I'm getting from this call. It's the community. It's all about the community, which to me seems a little bit culty, especially again, because you have to pay for the fucking community. It's not friends and family. Sure, maybe you make friends, but those friends might not be there after you leave the MLM, after you stop pouring money into their cup. These pyramid schemes, in my opinion, need to go to sleep. Good night.
I love it so much. So I asked one of the other girls this tonight, but I'm going to ask you too, because I feel like there's something you need to share with this. What is your biggest piece of advice for someone that is going through anxiety in their business, or feeling alone in their business, or not sure if they should take that next step? What's your biggest advice for them? People that are stuck.
She seems qualified to give advice on anxiety in business. What the fuck?
My thing for this retreat was walking out on faith, keeping my eyes on Jesus. And like I've told you, Chloe, stepping out of the boat and getting on the water and just not take my eyes off Jesus. You have to walk by faith, even when you can't see. You don't always know what's up ahead, but if you give it to him, he will absolutely take care of things for you.
And so last thing, I promise, you're like, I wasn't ready for this.
No, you're good.
You're a natural leader though. Otherwise I wouldn't have you on here. So compared to before the retreat, right? And I remember, I don't know if I told you this, but I think I did, but I want y'all to know now, I was invited to my first retreat 2 years ago and I cried the whole way there. I didn't know like what I was going to do. I didn't even talk the whole time. People probably thought I was a mute. And y'all, I was like around superstar directors. Okay. Like not a good look for me, but I felt different on the way home. So I would love for you to share how you felt really quick after doing that hard thing. Like after showing up, like how did you feel? What were thoughts that went through your head, right? Because they need to hear this. There's people that don't want to attend SFR. They're scared to death. They're going to be alone. They don't want to sponsor. They don't. So how did you feel after you did something super out of your comfort zone?
I just felt like that was where I needed to be. And had I not went, I don't know where my business or my personal growth would have went. But before I went, I was like, when I finally decided to go, I was like, I can't not go, because if I don't go, then I'm never going to know what would have happened if I had went. So for anything SFR or World Tour or whatever, like you don't know until you go. And nothing, this is something I wanted to say, because this is the saying that always, I've heard it somewhere and it's always stuck with me. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So you have to get out of your own head and your insecurities. We are all in the same boat here, and just do it. Just walk out on faith, because doing the hard things is what's going to make it for you.
Amen, y'all. Me and Janice could preach. I don't want to get us on a meeting. All the people that aren't Christians, they're like, what did I sign up for? It's not a trap, y'all. It's not a trap.
No, sorry.
It is a trap.
No. You know I love sharing Jesus, and it should be organic. It should be organic when people share their beliefs, their faith, their values. And Scentsy, that's why Scentsy says, come as you are. Like all religion, it's amazing. So love you so much. I'm going to really quick bring everybody up. There we go. I'll tell you one thing. Like Courtney, I didn't join for the community, but I stayed because of the community. There is no way I would have gotten through so many things just in life, because that's what happens, right? Life's, and things get really hard. And what I love that Janice said is it's the self-development. And you have to have that piece where you go, I'm going to develop personally, that personal development, so I can have a strong business. And every single one of you guys on here, y'all need to know this, you have a purpose and a place in Scentsy. There is a reason you're here. And that's why it's so hard sometimes to get out of your head, because you know that you can build, you know that you can do big things, but you're not just doing it. You're blocking yourself. Like Jana said, you're forgetting who you are, right? Like Courtney said. But then, like you heard from Alex and Megan and Kesley, dear Lord Jesus in heaven. She has the most unique name, but it's always like a tongue twister. When it comes to those three, they shared though what Scentsy has done. You could hear it in their voice, what Scentsy's done for them. And guess what? You have a story too. And your story deserves to be shared and remembered. And so I hope tonight that these stories inspired you guys to step out of that boat and to go, we're just not going to stay there anymore, right? I want you guys to know that this year can be the year, not just in your Scentsy business, but personally, you can develop and be your best self. My goal in Scentsy is just not to make you guys be excellent leaders, but to be excellent people. And that doesn't mean that you have to be perfect, because Lord knows many of y'all have watched me go through it. Okay? Y'all watched me. But that's okay, because that shows our teams, right, that we are human, that we're people. That shows the people that are on this call tonight or watching the recording that don't understand Scentsy. They think it's just some MLM, and Scentsy's different. And when you go to home office, you can feel that, right?
I understand Scentsy because I was in it for 4 years. Just want to put that out there for the lurkers here that report back to Miss Lady Ma'am over here. I was in Scentsy, so I know, I'm aware, but thank you. And it is an MLM pyramid scheme in my opinion.
You go to World Tour, you can feel that. It doesn't matter if you're alone. You'll see somebody you know and be like, hey, can I sit with you? Hey, let me take a picture. Hey, I love watching your kid on social media. Scentsy connects us and it brings us together. And that is what I love. Because at this point, money matters. I've got to pay my bills. I wouldn't be training y'all if this wasn't a business where you could make money. Let's call it what it is. But that's not what does it for me. What does it for me is watching y'all's lives change. And what does it for y'all that are leaders is watching others' lives change. And I believe that we're about to step into a season where so many lives are about to change because of every one of you. And like Janice said, you just need to do it. You need to share your story. You need to share this community. Next week, we have week 2, and we're going to be talking about how to get there, what it looks like to be accountable, what it looks like to go ahead and start doing simple actions that will transform your life and your business. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to stop the recording.
Again, we didn't hear anything about the Scentsy products. So if you're somebody that was on this call that just started in Scentsy and didn't know what to do to sell product, to get going, you would have gotten absolutely nothing but a waste of 55 minutes from this call. What are you training on? What is this training? Just to love bomb and tell stories to make people cry and feel emotions about the community, quote unquote, that you had to pay for? This was a waste of everybody's time that was on the call, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. Do not join an MLM like Scentsy. It's a fucking load of shit. Anyway, this is the last video that will not have a TikTok hates your bullshit. This is 4 of 4 without TikTok hates your bullshit. I appreciate everybody being so understanding with my personal life just exploding in my face. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're gonna be fine. But anyway, if you liked this video, let me know by clicking the thumbs up button below. If you didn't like it, click the thumbs down, whatever you want to do. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribing and watching my videos is the #1 way to help support my channel. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.